Otters, hope you're all well and having a really good day. So yeah, back to the story. So Felix has gone out hunting, looking for food, and he's come across the what used to be the Jewish orphanage, which has now been taken over by the Nazi and possibly the Hitler Youth. We're not sure. And he has found the Jewish orphan boy, or rather, the Jewish orphan boy has found him again. Then I asked the kid more questions, like where was he from originally, and how did he escape being shot with the other orphans, and where is he living now? But he won't answer, so I say goodbye and head off to hunt rabbits. On my own. When I finally make it to the forest, I stand in among the dark trees, wondering which way the railway line is. Rickmore Crompton hears my prayers. She helps me choose the right direction. Also, a train clatters past in the distance to give me an extra clue. I crouch in the ferns, looking down at the hillside covered in rabbit holes. The moon is out, and so are the rabbits, peeking out of their tunnel as the sound of the train dies away. I check that the vegetable knife and the shopping bag are still in my pocket. This is going to be the difficult part. Catching a wild rabbit will be hard. I'll have to be very fast. Cutting its throat will be even harder. I'll have to try and make myself into a killer. Just for a few seconds. For my family. All right. Here goes. I plunge my hands into a rabbit hole. Oh no, I've got one. A live rabbit kicking and struggling in my arms. Warm and quivering, I slide my hand up to its throat and reach for the knife. I can feel the veins in its throat throbbing, and now it's looking at me with big, dark eyes. What was that? Gunshots. I've been seen. I drop the rabbit and dive back into the thick ferns, waiting for bullets to smash into me, imagining Zelda waking up not knowing where I've gone, never finding out why I didn't come back, thinking I broke my promise. The shooting stops. The rabbits have all dived for cover too, except for a few who are twitching and dying. Voices boom out from the trees. Nazi soldiers, several of them, with torches and guns, slide and slither their way down the slope. They pick up the dead rabbit and examine them in the torchlight. I'm almost weeping with relief. It wasn't me they were after. But that's not the only reason I'm relieved. I can still feel that rabbit's veins throbbing frantically. My head is throbbing now in the same way. I couldn't have killed it. Not even to feed my family. I don't know how Leopold's friend can do it. I stay hidden and watch the soldiers. I can't understand what they're saying, but their voices don't sound very happy. I'm not surprised. There are 4 of them and only 3 dead rabbits. As they climb back up the hillside, they're arguing about something. Suddenly, I understand one of the words. Fish. It's one of the few German words I know. When I was little, a German tourist came into our bookshop and asked where he could catch fish in our local river, and Dad told him. The Nazi soldiers seem to be agreeing about fish now. It's worth letting you know that it's not spelled the same way as fish. It's F-I-S-C-H-E. And I don't expect the Polish word for fish is very similar to the German word. I think it sounds like a good idea too. I think I'll be better at catching fish than killing rabbits. The Nazi soldiers head off through the forest. I follow them. I didn't know there was a river in these parts. It's not as big as the river I grew up near, but it's big enough for fish. I can see that even from behind these bushes. The Nazi soldiers are standing on the riverbank. One of them is fiddling with something in a bag. I wonder what it is. The bag doesn't look big enough for a fishing rod. Suddenly, the soldier throws something, a dark lump, and it splashes into the river. They can't be trying to kill fish with rocks. That's crazy. Perhaps they're using rabbit meat as bait. The other soldiers duck. An explosion erupts out of the water. A huge one. I'm deafened and drenched even over here. As I wipe the water off my face and glasses, my dazed mind tries to make sense of what's happening. Is this a battle? Are we being bombed? The Nazi soldiers are all in the river, yelling excitedly and waving fish at each other. I can see other fish floating in the water. Now I get it. They're fishing. That thing they chucked into the river must have been one of those bombs you throw with your hand. What's it called? Hand grenade, says a voice in my ear. I nearly pass out with shock. It's Leopold's friend, crouching next to me in the bushes. He must have crept up while the hand grenade was going off. Keep your head down, he mutters. We watch the soldiers splash around, gathering up dead fish and tossing them onto the shore. Silently, I beg them to leave a couple for me and Zelda and Genia, and one for the kid. You still want to go hunting? Says the kid quietly. You and me? I look at him, surprised. Does he mean fish or rabbits? I nod uncertainly. The kid reaches into the big pockets of his coat and pulls out a few things and puts them on the ground in front of us. The first thing I see is his knife. There's blood on it again. But it's the other things that really shock me. Guns. 2 big, dark, shiny handguns. I stare at them. The kid picks one up and holds it out to me. I don't know what to say. Well, what are we hunting? I stammer. The kid doesn't answer, just squints at the Nazi soldiers, who are still gathering up stunned and dead fish. I feel like a stunned fish myself. Does he mean... I stare at him. He can't mean that. We're kids. He looks at me, waiting. After a few moments, he gives a snort and puts the weapons back in his pocket. Forget it, he says, and disappears into the dark undergrowth. Suddenly, I want to get out of here. But the soldiers haven't finished yet. They clamber out of the water, and the one with the bag grabs another grenade. He throws it into the river. The other 3 soldiers put their hands over their ears and turn away. I'm about to do the same when I see something near the grenade-throwing Nazi that makes me freeze, even though I know I'm about to be deafened and blinded again. The kid. He's stepping out from behind a tree, holding one of the guns in both hands, pointing it at the back of the Nazi's head. I stop breathing. For a moment, everything else seems to stop, but only for a moment. Now the water is exploding again, as loud as before. Don't! I yell at the kid. But I can't hear my own voice, so I'm sure he can't either. The kid's arm twitch, and the Nazi soldier falls forward onto the riverbank. My head is ringing and my glasses are covered with spray. The kid is just a blur now, but he seems to be bending down, reaching for something. When I finish wiping my glasses, he's gone. So is the grenade bag. The other Nazis see their friend on the ground. They run to him, shouting at him and at each other and turning him over. I've only got a few seconds before they realise it wasn't the grenade that got him. A few seconds before they start hunting for a culprit. I run. Okay, we're going to leave it there for now. Is the Jewish orphan going to get away with it? Why did he shoot the Nazi, other than the obvious reasons? Will Felix become hunted? What will Felix, Genia and Zelda do for food for the winter? We do not know. Okay, so as I said before, hope you've had a fantastic day. Thank you for all of you who've sent me in your English work so far. Looking forward to seeing some more. And yeah, make sure you're staying safe and washing your hands still. And I will check in with you again tomorrow. See you later, guys.